For color copies, it's really expensive, isn't it? Right? But that's the point. These brands or these logos take the place of the company themselves. They have less to do with letter forms, like this one here, the Batman one. What's this one here? And what's the penguin? Right? So like everyone has these real identifications with these things. You don't even have to have the name of the company up here. These symbols actually take the place of the name of the company. And that's something else. In our visual world, these things become as important as entire groups of people. Dave, can we have the lights, please? Let's bring them down a little bit. Okay. What? Okay. This is an image by the American artist Kara Walker. It's called African American. This is a silhouette of cut paper stuck directly onto the wall. It's about that size in real life. So when you walk into the gallery, your shadow is in this relationship to the piece, and it's all made from cut paper stuck to the wall with wax. Kara makes large-scale installations of this work. This piece is called Slavery, Slavery, a Bonnie tableau. See the peculiar institution. These two pieces are from a large installation called the Emancipation Approximation. Okay. Everyone knows these, right? iPod, right? I love this. Do you dance like that? Like, who dances like that? No one dances like that, right? Like, who dances like that? But somehow these people are in these like paroxysms of ecstasy because of their iPods, right? And it's directly related to this work. This work started to come about in the late 90s. The iPod ad came about, in the double aughts, right? It's directly related to the same work. And you see the way the background is altered here? Projected color, drawn color. This is Kara Walker once again. The way that these ads function, they take from what's happening in contemporary art and use them to develop their message. Se goza más. Se baila así. De aquí para allá. Se goza más. De allá para acá. Se puede vacilar. Es que mi sueño es tropical. De Boricua. Puerto Rico. Y que se puede vacilar. Es que mi sueño es tropical. Whenever you see people of color in advertising, they're always dancing, eating chicken, doing something ridiculous. Always there to entertain you. But the relationship between the iPod ad and Kara Walker can't be, this is part of our visual world. This is the work of a designer. This is the work of an artist. This is Kara Walker's self-portrait. It's called Cut. It's cut paper on the wall. This is the iPod ad. Again, who dances like that? No one dances like that. You do not. You do not. If you dance like this, like your father has failed in keeping you off the pole, okay? All right. That's all I'm going to say, all right? No one dances like that, okay? So this is the thing. The relationship between the two, I'm not making this up. There's a clear visual relationship between the two. And one is used to talk about the effect of 300 years of black people and white people together in the Americas, and the other one is created to sell you a music player. If you're not aware of what's going on in your visual world, you get suckered into things like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I own an iPod, right? That's not the issue. The issue is the relationship between the advertising and the source, right? This is a piece made by Forkscrew Graphics. This came out after the Abu Ghraib. Forkscrew, F-O-R-K-S-C-R-E-W, Forkscrew Graphics. These were posted all over New York City after the Abu Ghraib photographs came to light. There's 4 in the suite, just like the iPod ads. So once again, we're taking an art form, the silhouette, that Kara Walker's using to talk about oppression. And now this sort of ad buster idea of taking branding the war, creating silhouettes, and using what's in the popular imagination. It's not even the popular imagination, it's in the newspaper. Right? So that's why visual language is important. That's why the ability to relate these things to what we know artistically and what we know emotionally becomes incredibly important. Otherwise, you're completely crippled when you're trying to make art. Okay, what do you see? Where's Jesus? Which one's Jesus? The baby. This is the Virgin Mary? Right? Is that who this is? Who are these people? Angels? Okay. Shh. Okay. How do we know this is Virgin Mary? Because she's blue? Is that why? Why is she blue? Because that's her color? That's her color, right? Prince's color is purple. Mary's is blue, right? No, why is she blue, really? This is Cimabue, right? Cimabue is the artist. That's gold leaf on panel. She's blue, and she's big, right? So she might be important, right? Why is she blue? Does anyone know? Go ahead. Absolutely, that's why. This blue is made from crushed lapis stones, lapis lazuli, ultramarines, which they get from Afghanistan. That's where they come from. That's where they're mined. This is the most expensive color in this picture. More expensive than the gold leaf. That's the only reason why she's blue. That's the only reason. Not because it's her color or because it means purity or water or any of that crap. That's the only reason she's blue. Because she's expensive and she's precious. What's with the baby? Is that like a baby? That's like a little man, isn't it? That's not a baby, okay? That is not a baby, right? Does Cimabue not know how to paint a baby? Is that why? It's 1280, right? This is the year, 1280, this is painted. That's a little man on her lap, right? Now, who is Jesus supposed to be? Who is Jesus? The Savior of us, who? You and me? In 1280, right? Not in 2007. Think about 1280. Who is Jesus? God. Who said God? Right? This is why he's a little man. Because he's God. He's aware. He's gesturing. He's aware of us. So the way this is made indicates what it means. Cimabue makes this painting. I got to make a painting. I got a job here. I got to make this picture. And I got to make a painting of the baby Jesus, but we all know that Jesus isn't a baby because he's really God. So I got to paint him like a little man. That's what Cimabue is thinking. Really, I talked to him the other day. That's exactly what he's thinking when he's making the painting, right? Okay. 200 years later, right? Jan van Eyck. The Madonna, Chancellor Roland. This is Madonna, right? Is she wearing blue? Not so much, right? This is oil painting. You have the invention of oil painting, the invention of pigments by the Van Eyck brothers. Oil paint is created so you can paint flesh, believably. This is Chancellor Roland, right? Did this happen? No. Like, this woman's been dead for a long time. She's dead. It's 1435. She died over 1,400 years ago, right? So how can this be? He paid for it, right? Absolutely. He wanted, it's called a sacred conversation painting. This Chancellor Roland is kneeling here with his Bible, praying. He's the chancellor of this city, right? And he's asking for the Madonna's protection for the city. So he's praying so fervently that the Madonna appears to him. That's what the layout of this painting is about. Really believable space, isn't it? 3-dimensional. Like, you could walk around in there, right? Really believable, right? What's with the baby? See the baby? What's that? You gonna look at that kid? It's 1435, right? We had Cimabue painting the baby one way, and now we have the Van Eycks painting the baby like this, right? What does that mean? It's 200 years later, 1435. Okay. See the city behind him? See the whole city behind him? All of Roland is behind him. He's holding this little orb, which is something they give to kings to indicate dominion. And what's he doing? He's gesturing, right? He's blessing Roland, right? He's aware. So he's got a baby's body and an old man's head, right? That means something, right? So because the thoughts about the embodiment, the thoughts about the ideas about the virgin birth and all that stuff are starting to come to light in 1435. You know? So this idea that God turned himself into a baby is starting to gain currency. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. You know? That's why he has a little bit more babiness. Not a lot, because that's a face only a mother could love. But you know who this is? No, that's a cute baby. That's a baby. Fat, all babies are fat, honey. That's a fat baby. That is a fat Italian baby. This is Leonardo, right? This is Leonardo, the height of the Renaissance. Look at the baby. The baby's not aware. The baby can't see. Babies can't focus at that age. Nobody studied the body more than Leonardo. This is what a baby looks like. Fat, fleshy, unaware. He ain't gesturing to nobody. He's trying to get that flower out of his mother's hand. So what do we believe? This is the Renaissance, the beginning of the 15th century. What do we believe about God at this point? What do we believe about God so loved the world that he turned himself into a human to have a human experience? That's why you see the baby's penis, because he's human. So the composition, the structure of these pictures has something to do with their meaning. It's not random. These things are placed the way that they're placed for a very specific reason, and they have very specific meanings. Look at the difference between the babies. Now, I don't want you to think that this just happens in painting. It actually happens in all sorts of contemporary art. This is from James Cameron's Aliens, 1986. Adrian Biddle is the cinematographer. Look at the blue light. Can you get a little bit more volume there, David?
Close your eyes, baby.
They're both mothers, right? So they're both lit in blue. So these things about composition aren't just limited to two-dimensional art or non-time-based art. Movies are a two-dimensional art form because they're arranged in the rectangle here. That's why we're talking about film, photography. We're talking about everything that's flat. Composition is the device of organizing space. Now, composition is basically a theoretical thing. It's not like two old guys are like, you know, that Titian is a really good painter. He's a really good painter because the baby looks like a baby. And the other guy's like, Chimabui's a better painter because the baby looks like a man. You know, like people aren't having this conversation. That's not happening. But what they are talking about, the feeling that you get from the painting is in the invisible aspects of the composition. No one looks at paintings, no one but artists looks at things and talks about composition. Like we do it because it's a tool that we have to use. And remember that these are theories about art. You can't like go through a checklist of things and make sure you have all those things and then the art is good. And composition has more to do with the organizing of things and the body in space. This is from Pedro Almodovar's Talk to Her. The choreographer is Pina Bausch. She's the dancer. So as the body moves through space, it has an effect on the space. In this shot, you see the two women, right, making the same